Hello and welcome. It's time to begin. My finger hits that side and it dampens it. I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight to our weekly service for the International Church of Metaphysical Humanism. My name is Dr. Doug Kelley, of course. Good to have everyone here in the live audience as well as in the broadcast audience. Tonight we're going to be doing our special ceremony in just a few minutes after we get through the introductory remarks. This is a time to just stop, take stock of where you're at, do a personal snapshot type of thing, and kind of see where you're going. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. Dr. Vicki Hunter will be joining me for that segment. To begin with, let us mention our principles of belief, an abbreviated version. The first one is do no harm, do right. Number 2, we believe in the indomitable power of the human spirit. The answers we seek already exist within us. Number 3, we believe that we alone are responsible for and capable of solving human social problems. Number 4, did I say 4 before? Number 4 this time, we are all equal, one planet, one race, one ancestry, one destiny. Number 5, we recognize and honor the divine energy that exists in all living things. Number 6, we are physical and spiritual beings. Consciousness survives the death of the physical body. Number 7, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, and respect for free will creates self-completeness. Number 8, metaphysical education and practical life skills empower the human spirit and enhance the human condition. And number 9, expanding human consciousness leads to human evolution and peaceful coexistence. To read the entire belief system, which is the expanded version, visit metaphysicalhumanism.org, and there's even some articles that go into them a little deeper as well. So, that having been said, let's do pull a card for our theme for tonight. These are the inner oracle cards. These basically are cards that we've done up to reflect most of what we teach. So we'll just do a quick random card to serve as a theme for tonight, and we'll try to work it in to our discussion. It's this one. Positive consciousness, which is card number 13. Positive consciousness. And I'm sure Dr. Hunter will comment on this when we get to our Enspirit forum following our ceremony. So that having been said, card number 13, positive consciousness, speaking of which, we'd like to bring Dr. Hunter on. She's going to do the ceremony with me. And then once we complete our ceremony, we're going to talk about it, then we're going to do the ceremony. And somebody's talking around here. And then we're going to do our meditation, guided meditation, and we'll get into our Enspirit forum. So that's the roundup for tonight. This particular ceremony, we have 4 annual ceremonies, the 2 solstices and the 2 equinoxes, and this is the Rite of Cynosure for the northern solstice. And we don't say summer solstice because it's summer here, but it's winter in Australia, down under on the other side of the planet. So we call it the Rite of Cynosure for the northern solstice. And Cynosure simply means something that's bright, sparkly. So what it's designed to denote is something that, that we kind of look off in the distance, you see something bright. And that's for you to decide what that is for you, but it's something to work toward. So welcome, Dr. Hunter. So let's talk about where we're at. And you can chime in anytime you want, Vicki. Just chime in whenever you want. Let's talk about, we did this, the equinoctial equilibrium about 3 months ago for the March equinox. Not the spring equinox, but the March equinox. We're global here. We got to count for everything. But the idea is, where you at now? Where have you been over at least the last 3 months, if not a little bit longer? And this is all within the context of where you're going, walking your path. Right? Because I have to get validation from Vicki. If she doesn't approve it, I can't say it.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Oh, well, that's good validation. So, in this program, we've talked over the last few months, we've talked a lot about walking your own path, finding your own way, that it's okay to do that we all have something to offer. We all have greatness to deliver, right? Each in our own way. And greatness to deliver can be any kindness that you do, any work that you do that makes a difference, that leaves the woodpile higher than you found it. That's delivering greatness. So we've talked about that. We've talked about how you can walk your path without judgment. Doesn't mean people won't judge you, but doesn't matter. It's their stuff, not your stuff. You can do that. You can walk your own path. So where are you at on that path? This is a time to stop, take a deep breath, press the pause button, as Vicki says, and just take it all in.
Well, pressing the pause button, if I can inject, is really just that, where if you actually consciously think of the words, push the pause button, there will be an open space. There'll be that moment of pause. And it's psychological too. But the energy just pauses for a second, that you can, breathe and take in your environment, reflect, think before you speak. And I like that. I don't know how it came to me many years ago, but I would say it to myself, push the pause button. And it's effective. I like it.
And it's a good expression. It gives you a chance to think about where you're at. This ceremony is also intended to be a spiritual ceremony. This is a spiritual thing we're doing. When you do introspection, when you look within, it's spiritual. And when we weigh our options, when we look to the future with a view to understanding where we're at, where we're going, and that kind of a thing, that's a spiritual thing. And that's good. That's a time that we want to get spiritual. So that's the point of this. So as we go through this script tonight, this ceremony, pay attention to how it's worded, to what it says, and then reflect on your own journey. Reflect on where you're headed, where you've been, and what you want to do. I've mentioned this too on the program, that a lot of people, what do you want to be when you grow up? And a lot of people don't know yet. And that's okay. And so I said, well, here's a simple question that can be very difficult to answer. What do you call a good day? Simple question can be tough to answer if you're not sure what a good day is for you. So what do you call a good day? And if that doesn't do it for you, well, what's not a good day? You can kind of rule things out. What if you can't come up with that, though? Then what? A lot of people get frustrated with that. They get frustrated. So if you can't come up with an answer for that question, that's fine. You know what that means? It means you're not ready to yet. It means you need more data. It means something's missing in terms of information. Whether it's self-discovery, whether it's information somewhere else that needs to come in, it's what it means. It means it's not the time yet. So what do you do in the meantime? You keep plugging away. You keep moving. And if you get in some kind of an inkling of which direction you want to go, you move that way. And if that's not the direction for you, that's fine. It'll become apparent in due time, and you adjust your course. Because that's what we do. We can't tell the future. We adjust our course as we see fit and as is good for us, if it's meaningful for us to adjust the course. So that's what this is about tonight. Pause button, take a deep breath, assess where you've been, where you're at, what you might need to do to get where you want to go. All right. Anything, Vicki?
Well, I think it's important to just reinforce for a moment that ritual is really important in our daily lives. If you eat with a fork, it's a ritual. So everything we do is ritualistic. And when we consciously create new traditions for ourselves, in whatever way they are, maybe it's not with a script like we're doing, but it can be your own kind of script, creating your own tradition, your own ritual. You're now patterning in a new consciousness. So it's one of choice, not one that we're just falling into, We're actually choosing our rituals. We're choosing our traditions, and with the best intent possible. You know, it's very common that we all fall into other people's stuff and we don't really question it a lot. And then one day you start saying, well, why did I do that? Well, instead of saying something was bad, say, I think I have a way I'd like to do it myself. So turn those lessons into positive consciousness. See, I did it.
You
Already
did.
I did it using
You worked
positive
that right
consciousness.
in there.
So it really is about, this is part of our rituals. We do 4 times a year. And it came with a lot of thought, a lot of introspection, a lot of information gathering of what would be suitable for ICMH, what would be suitable for our philosophies and keeping with our belief systems, and you know, it's hopefully to impart that to others in a really good way. And again, it doesn't have to be our way, it can be your way. This is just set as an example. The wording is very meaningful and it intended. It took a lot of, you know, really good focus and, you know, study to put it together. But that's because we chose it, you know, and this is how we choose to be 4 times a year. And we all have other traditions that we do too. But we continue to evolve and we continue to grow. And hopefully this is a moment for everyone else to get their own ideas, other things that you might like to do for yourself in your own home, in your family. And it's a wonderful way of bringing people together. So I really encourage people to choose really good rituals, and it's not being hokey. It's being real. Like I say, if you eat with a fork, that's a ritual. You know, we are ritualistic people. So I would just like to enforce that, reinforce
And I'm
that.
glad you did. And I'm glad you worked in positive consciousness, because that's what this is about. I mean, it's a positive consciousness matter. We're trying to move forward in a positive way. And I also appreciate what you mentioned, because, you know, at first glance, some metaphysical church is doing a ceremony, you know, some rite of this or that or the other thing. You know, what the heck's that about? You know, we're going to dance around the campfire naked or something? No, I'm sorry. I know some of you are probably disappointed, but no, what this is about, what ICMH is about, is practical life skills, leading a better, more successful life in a healthy way, with an open mind, just not so open your brains fall out, but with, you know, an open mind, and learning to leave the wood pile higher than you found it. It's good stuff. It's healthy stuff. So with that,
Yes.
and without any further ado, let
I
us
have my
begin.
candle.
Yes, and if you're at home and you'd like to join in, grab a candle, make it quick, because we're going to be lighting up here. That didn't sound right, did it? All right, but we kind of
Fire
are.
is
Okay.
that, if I can say this too, fire
Yep.
is that other element, you know, fire, air,
Yeah.
earth, and water.
That's a good point.
And this fire is the flame of life. So, and we'll explain that in the ceremony.
All right, good. So, let's begin. With the lighting of the flame, we commence the rite of Cynosure for the northern solstice, the time of year in which the sun is at its northernmost point on the celestial sphere, directly over the Tropic of Cancer. This is the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. We invite all those who are able to now join us in lighting the ceremonial flame.
Through the universe, of which I'm a part, beats the energy of life and into my heart. A flame of fire lights up my soul with will and desire for the world to know. The energy of life beats through my heart and through the universe, of which I'm a part.
With the lighting of the flame, we symbolically transfer the fire of our spirit to a visual representation that we can see and feel. For in this way, we are reminded of the power of this fire, the power of our spirit, the fire of our passion to fulfill our unique and individual purpose, the passion of our spirit to do no harm and to do right, the never-ending light and warmth contained within us that honors the divine nature of all life and regards all sentient life as equal, having one common origin in the stuff of stars. We are one planet and one race with one ancestry and one destiny.
Connectedness.
The energy of our unfettered consciousness creates an expanded awareness of the profound connection that we have to one another, to all divine life, to Mother Earth, and to the universe. We pause in grateful acknowledgement of the universal consciousness that connects and unites us all. We take a moment of silence in honor, remembrance, and appreciation for the interdependent relationships we have with those closest to us and with all living things.
Responsibility.
We are connected to all things, and yet we are one. And in each one of us lies the indomitable power of the human spirit to ultimately prevail in the face of any dilemma, to rise above any obstacle, to triumph over any challenge. We recognize the inherent responsibility we have as a race of adept beings to resolve the challenges before us and acknowledge that this is as it should be.
Self-Completeness.
Cynosure is a light, a guide, a star. As the moon is the cynosure during the season of longer nights, and the sun is the cynosure during the season of longer days, we are attracted to and guided by the cynosure of the divinity within us. In our darkest hour, we are comforted and strengthened by the brilliant star imbued within our human spirit. As the flame before us is complete within itself and needs no other spark to sustain it, we too are complete within ourselves and need no other spark to sustain us. The synergy of self-acceptance, self-responsibility, and respect for free will creates self-completeness. We need nothing nor anyone outside ourselves, for the answers we seek already exist within us. Our flame, our star, our cynosure is within. We look there.
Equilibrium.
During this solstice season, we seek to reconcile the things unequal, to recalibrate the things unbalanced, to recenter our consciousness and awareness, to realign our thoughts with the fulfillment of our individual and unique purpose. We draw from the cycles, phases, and rhythms of the universe that continue in perfect harmony from time immemorial. We attune the cycles, phases, and rhythms inherent in our own inner universe that they may serve our highest good and that we may serve others for their highest good in the spirit of do no harm and do right. So the one, so the other, so our purpose, so our life. Equilibrium is renewed.
Positive consciousness.
In our innermost thoughts, in our heart of hearts, we strive toward positive consciousness, harboring ill will toward no form of life. So the energy within, so the energy without. So the one, so the many. We possess conscious awareness of the universal mind, the universal consciousness, the interconnectedness of all who are, thus synergy is created. We pause for a moment to send out positive energy to those in need. We recognize the power of gratitude and deliberate intent. For like attracts like, and the like that we positively intend is the like that we invite and the sum that we receive. We pause for a moment of silence to calibrate our intent, to send positive and deliberate intent out into the universe in harmony with our own unique purpose so that it may return to us in due time. Fire of the flame burns before us, so too burns the flame of our passion for doing right and the fire in our soul to immerse all that is in the light of our positive intent and universal consciousness. May the fire of our essence burn brightly to the higher good of all who are.
The fires for life burn deeply within, joined with the universe, and creations begin. Brightly shining, new thoughts akin, and so it is, the light within, and so it is.
With the quenching of the flame, we affirm the transference of its symbolic light, warmth, and energy to empower the spirit within us as a beacon of light, as a cynosure, shining brightly upon the world in the strength of do no harm and do right. We make it so, and so it is. The flame is transferred. And this completes the rite of cynosure for the northern solstice for this year. We appreciate you joining us in this, those here in the live audience as well as in the broadcast audience. And we hope that you'll join us again here in about 3 months in September, where we will do the equinoctial equilibrium, the rite of that, for the September solstice. Not the fall solstice, because you know it's a spring solstice down under. Anyway, appreciate that. And hopefully you found some meaning in this, got you thinking. That's a big part of it, get you thinking and pondering your own life. Vicki?
You know, I was just thinking a moment ago, we did Blog Talk Radio for quite some time, and it is a very different energy to have the visual that goes with it. And I really appreciate that shift that we've made, you know, in the evolution of the church and the school, you know, because everything is a gradual building, isn't it? It's a gradual evolution, but it really is quite different. The audio versus actually being in your presence and being able to see everyone and join in a new way, the chat room going and the guests, and it's very exciting. It's that a lot more positive consciousness, I think.
Yeah, that
Happy to read this.
I don't know how I pulled that card. Yeah.
You know, that's why I've been smiling for the longest time. You know, when you pulled that, and I thought, gee, that resonates. Isn't positive consciousness in our ceremony script? I mean, wow. So it's really synchronistic sometimes.
Why don't you
I'll just read this.
You going to read it?
Yes, number 13 in our little guidebook here. It is our soul's natural inclination to be positive. And, you know, that's very true. Everyone, think about it. Every child is born loving and trusting. It's just pure, and it is positive and hopeful. So remember that. It's our soul's natural inclination to be positive. Therefore, positive consciousness transcends positive thinking. As human beings, we can find ourselves with the need to filter negative and ill will. Be at peace with your natural self and continue displaying goodwill toward others. Don't hate or hold hatred in your heart. Maintain your positive attitude, even in the face of obstacles and discouragements, for they're just temporary. And that's really important in positive consciousness, to be able to recognize that all challenge and struggle and hardship is but temporary. The only thing that is constant is our positive consciousness. Truly, I believe that.
And you know, that's it's so true. And just to clearly define what's the difference between positive consciousness and just a positive attitude. A positive consciousness is just a higher level of positive attitude. It basically you are driven by that positivity. You ever met one of those people who's just happy and upbeat and positive all the time? You know, kind of makes you want to go throw up or something. I'm married to one of them. Just kidding, not really.
But Tracy's an exception.
What?
You never want to throw up around Tracy.
No. Anyway, but that's what we're talking about, positive consciousness. You know, I've said this story before. Years ago, we were looking for a house, and we went down this street, and this is Tracy, you know, my wife. We go down the street, some nice homes, but they're real close together, and the yards are kind of small, and I made kind of close together, and the yards are small. She says, yeah, but it won't take long to mow, huh? I said, stop it. You know, she's always coming up with that positive outcome. There's always a reframe. There's always a positive angle to things. And I'll tell you, the reason she's that way is because she made a deliberate decision as a little girl that she was not going to be negative like some people she knew in her family. She was going to be positive, and she's kept that, and she's held that, and it's done well for her. And she, you know, she's one of those people that just attract others to them, you know. We all know those kinds of people. That's positive consciousness, and we want to be driven by that. It takes some work, especially if you're not inclined that way, or if you didn't make a decision as a youngster to do it. You know, we can make a decision as an adult to do it. All right, good. So we will be entertaining some more inner oracle cards here in a little bit. The next up, I want to do some announcements, and then we will get into our Enspirit forum, excuse me, preceded by our guided imagery or meditation. As far as announcements go, not a lot, but I do want to thank everyone for your kind donations. Helps keep the flame burning. If you're interested in learning more about the International Church of Metaphysical Humanism, ICMH for short, you're watching this on the archives or something, visit metaphysicalhumanism.org, and there's lots of information there, including our principles of belief, our sacred obligations, and so forth. If you want to join, we have associate memberships available. They're kind of like Friends of ICMH type of a membership. We don't have full memberships yet available yet, but you can register on the website at metaphysicalhumanism.org. And as a member, that will allow you to also register at oneplanetcommunity.com, which is our private Facebook-like network. So you can interact with other people of like mind. Next week on the program, I will be talking about free will and the law of control. And it's more interesting probably than the title shows, but there's some different aspects to it that will make a difference in our life. And then we are welcoming back Dr. Norman Wilson, who will be Skyping in from Washington State. He will be talking on the steps to spiritual contentment. So that's for next week. All right. Let us proceed then to our guided meditation. Just a few minutes. Time to relax, time to zero in, focus in, and take a load off for just a few minutes. It won't be too long. As we begin, find yourself in a comfortable position. You can leave your eyes open or you can close them, whatever you want. If your eyes are open, pick a point straight across from you and just stare at it. And as you do, take a deep breath in through your nose, hold on to it for a moment, and then just let it out through your mouth. Just relax. It feels so good to relax just for a time. Another deep breath, hold on to it for a moment. And as you breathe in positive consciousness, breathe in positivity. And as you breathe out stress, tension, worry, and just allow your body to settle. And more importantly, allow your mind to just settle. Focus on the sounds of the music and my words. And every note that you hear, every word that I speak, allows you to become even more relaxed. As you continue to relax, knowing that you are safe, nobody wants anything, nobody asking for anything. This is your moment, your time. And as you ponder what we've talked about tonight on this broadcast, in this program, talking about where you're at, where you're going. And as you ponder it, you ask, what are my dreams? And when you ask that question, you get a clear vision of your dreams that are yours and yours alone. And they are meaningful to you. And as you think about your dreams, your goals, It brings a little smile to your face and it warms your heart because they are you. Nobody else has quite the same dreams as you. It's because you're unique and you're perfect just the way you are. There is no one else who is a more perfect representation of you than you are. You are perfect at being you. And as you live each day, you understand that mistakes are part of human nature. And you embrace them because they hold valuable lessons for you, for your life. There is no shame, there is no guilt in making a mistake and learning the lessons. That's part of what it means to be human. And as you continue to relax, taking another deep breath, I wonder if you can visualize a beautiful ball of light right above your head. That's your soul light. That's your higher self. That's the essence of you. And it strengthens you. It is formidable, full of power. And I wonder if you can visualize bringing that light right on down into your body, right into the middle of your body, and then see your body filling up with its power, with its brilliance. Understanding that this light, this ball of light is connected to everything. Many tentacles of electricity just moving out from it and coming in because everything's connected. And there's such strength in this ball of light, this soul light that is you. All you have to do is tap into it. It's there for you anytime you want, because this soul light of yours represents the deep reserves of strength and power that you hold. Nothing can defeat you unless you let it. The essence of who you are, your higher self, your soul light, kicks in anytime you want it, and it will hold you. It will give you hope. And you understand that everything we see is not everything there is. This life is not all there is. This is but one chapter in a long existence. And we learn something every day from this chapter of life. Take just a moment and take a tiny fraction of your power, which is still huge, and send it to someone who needs it. If your body is hurting in any particular place, focus some of that beautiful energy on it, because this soul light is healing, it's nurturing, it's uplifting. If your attitude needs a boost, if your self-esteem needs a boost, boost it. You are entitled to all the good things in life, the same as anyone else, no more, no less. You must claim or reclaim your power. If you don't claim your power, you give it away to others. And this soul light, this essence that is you, allows you to claim your power, claim your identity. You are a unique person, unlike anyone else. And that is as it should be. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're going to be feeling so much better with each number that I count. You're going to be rested, relaxed, yet very sharp mentally. 1, feeling very, very good, especially about yourself. 2, allowing your soul light to take its place above your head whenever you're ready. And 3, eyes open wide, feeling so good. You are perfect the way you are. You're entitled to all the good things in life, the same as anyone else. You can do anything you want. Just do it. Go out and claim that for you. Welcome back. I don't hear no snoring, so that's good, huh? All right, so let's get into our Enspirit Forum then. This is a time when people can share impressions, thoughts, questions, whatever. If you're in the broadcast audience, in the chat room, if you'd like an inner oracle card pulled for you, we can do that too. Same here, if anyone would like one. We bring Dr. Hunter back on because she knows everything. Just ask her.
Except the things I don't know about.
Good line.
I got it from you. That's a Dr. Kelley line. I have to give it credit where it's due. That's all.
We know everything except that which we do not know. We are everywhere except those places we are not. We can do anything except that which we can't do. Of course, that kind of goes against what I was just saying, right? You can do anything. Just remember that part. All right. Anyone here in the audience like a card or have something to share in the live audience? We'll start with you. You don't have to. Just ask and don't want to leave you out. You want a card? And you know what, Jenny? I'm going to pull a card in just a second, or you can. There's something I didn't mention on the announcements, and she might feel awkward, but okay, there's two things I need to mention. Many of you in the chat room are familiar with Jenny. Well, she's here in the live audience with us tonight, so welcome, Jenny. And it's also Karen's birthday today. She's 29, and so we want to wish her a happy birthday. She says, "You sure that's not the year I was born?" Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But it's good to have you here always. So, all right, Jenny, you want to pull a card? Or you want me to pull one? Okay, here, I'm just going to bring him out here and make him less cluttered, and then you can. All right, anyone you want. You can fish through them if you want. That one? Go ahead and look at it. Number 14. Number 14, energy shift, new chapter. Boy, does that harmonize with what we got going on today.
I'm open to that page right there.
Of course. I told you she knows everything. She knew what you were going to pick. Do you believe that? I wouldn't.
Well, Jenny, any energy shifts are a natural result from increased awareness and knowledge and new attitudes that naturally open new chapters in one's life. It's an excellent time to clarify your vision during this time of shifting energy. Reflect, gather your energy, breathe, and step forward with a renewed sense of direction. Out with the old and in with the new. I love that. That's a good
what
one.
we're talking about with the whole ceremony tonight. Energy shift, new chapter. Make it that. Make it a new chapter. It can be any chapter you want. Anyone else here? Do you want to pull one or you want me to? We don't have to get up. I can come to you. Anyone you want. It's number 35. I can't see it either. It's in the service to self and others suit. One planet, one race, one ancestry, one destiny. Always a good card. Now, since Phyllis here is an old pro at this, I'm sure, it means something to you, or it may not mean something to you. It could be that. These cards are designed to get you thinking, and it's uncanny how they can bring up certain things that are meaningful to us and to us alone in a certain way, and that's what they're designed for. They're not tarot cards. They're designed to get you thinking about you. All right? Is there anyone in the chat room that would like and if anyone else here wants one, you can have one too. Okay.
Excuse me,
Tracy.
Dr. Kelley.
Let's talk about positive consciousness and Tracy. And this is not Tracy, my wife. This is Tracy, my student. Tracy B. I was thinking this earlier today because, her posts on One Planet Community like exude positiveness. It's like, will you stop it? Just kidding. Don't stop it. Keep it up. That's good work. All right. But I wanted to compliment you on that. Tracy B. $36, gratitude. We pulled this one a week or two ago. And so either this is validation for you, you're pretty grateful, I'll give you that. but there might be some gratitude that maybe this is meaningful for you. That's what I wanted to say. Vicki?
Well, it's the joy you feel in your heart when the mind awakens to the gifts of life, no matter how seemingly small or insignificant. The truest essence of love lives within the feeling of gratitude, desiring a connection with all life while giving freely without the want for anything in return. Gratitude is benevolence that wants to give forward. Take a compliment with graciousness and good manners when gratitude is extended. It's a pretty powerful message.
Anyone else in the chat room, bud? Ah, Brian, Dr. Brian. Okay. Good to see you. I'm just zooming in on you. For whatever it's worth, whatever it means, I couldn't tell you. But I got this one. Number 16, it's in the existential suit, continuity of life. What this refers to is this is but one chapter in a longer life, continuity of life. Life continues on in a coherent fashion. We don't just say that because it's fun to believe that. There's compelling, reasonable evidence for that. There's a reasonable basis for that belief, and that's what this continuity of life indicates. Vicki, do you want to?
Well, you just mentioned it transcends the physical body. Stability and peace is assured with the continuity and flow of day-to-day life. There is reason to hope for a favorable outcome in the face of adversity or a difficult situation. You are a living example of the continuity of life. Cherished values will continue to live and grow. Sometimes we must allow a curtain chapter to close so that a new chapter can begin.
See, that's good.
So,
I don't know who wrote this stuff, but they were on top of it. But isn't that true? I mean, we go from one chapter to another in life, don't we? So that's a continuity of life. It's a continuity. Of course, that's what we were thinking when we wrote it. Anyone else in chat want a card? Okay. If you do want one and you're in the chat room, make sure you say something again so we catch it. Otherwise, Vicki, do you want to pull 3 cards?
well, what I would like to do, if it's all right with you, is gift Karen with a little insight of a numerology reading.
Okay.
For her birthday.
Karen, do you want that?
What's your birthday, Karen?
Hold on.
Or what year were you born?
48.
48. 1948?
2048. She's 29, I told you.
Well, 14. Wow, that's very interesting. You have a birth path of 9. You must know that. You're up on your stuff. And in this year, 2015, just for people who may not know this, when you're trying to find the year that you're in, you add your birthday, in this case it's 0617, and 2015, you add those numbers up and reduce it to a single digit, so which is what I'm doing right now. So you're in a 4 year this year. The number 4, that is, the Chinese call it the number of death, right? Which is actually just transformation. A lot of people think of 4 as stable and secure, but what 4 also does, it likes to break the rules. It likes to bust out because it likes the transformation. So what you have been doing in the past, when I look at your being in a 4 year, you have been putting things together. First year, second, third, coming together. Now you're looking at what you do have, kind of embracing that inventory to say, okay, now what changes do I want to make? Where do I want to fit different kinds of building blocks? When you go into a 5 year, and especially for somebody who's a 9, it's very exciting because that's a time of adventure. So that's when you may not necessarily accomplish everything that you would like to do in this year. That's all right, because the freedom to do these things will be more available to you in your natural biorhythms. It will be more available to you in 2016. So what this is saying in this kind of a year is change what you can, work on that, continue to build. Just kind of think of your life as like a Lego set at the moment, and you're kind of structuring it. But it just really wants to change. It's vibrating to begin to change. So I think that this is a really exciting time for you. That 9 vibration that you are in your life is all about high idealism, high vibrations. You have like a bigger picture of things usually than a lot of folks would. And you just kind of can't get away with stuff. It's that speaking to your soul's calling, And so as a 9 in your birth path, in the things that you set out to do, which is, continual evolution. Like you would have these really profound increments of time, Karen, that your life changes on a dime. Some people can look at their life and see the flow. Yours is a stop-start. And if you look back, it's every, 9 years, in particular for you, you're just doing a 180 and people, well, what's she doing now? It's completely different. So the reason I'm kind of bringing that up is when you're in that 4-year, don't just take inventory of the last few years at this point in your life, because I'm looking at the cycles of your life. I would say take inventory of everything and see how empowered you really are and the ground that you have covered. That's really going to strengthen you for what you're going to adventure into next year. So this is a very exciting time for you. So I hope you don't mind me, saying that out loud on broadcast, but I had an inclination to do that. So.
Did you turn it off?
It wasn't on. Mike's not on.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the wonderful birthday gift. It was really interesting. But
well, good. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. Vicki, you want to do a 3-card general?
Yes. I even shuffled up and everything.
And then we'll...
now, in choosing...
We have one more?
A 3-card spread for the purpose of being on the broadcast is, I believe, how we collect, how we're kind of entangled in a way. So there's a message for everyone, but this is that, okay, what is that shared energy that we might all have? And in this is power of belief, which is number 25 in the spirituality suit. So power of belief. The second card I selected here is number 33, which is preference and principle. I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. And the third card is in the existential suit number 15, and belief systems and knowledge base. So if I look at all 3 of these, here's that collective message for all of us on this evening. We have, there's nothing greater than the power of belief, right? We live our power of belief. Everything we do is based on something we believe. And we can believe that we're more and greater and extend that positive consciousness, in our lives and through the universe. It's very important, though, to look at the difference between what is our preference versus principle. As Dr. Kelley would say, if it's a matter of preference, yield, because it's not that big of a deal. If it's a matter of principle or law, then you would stand firm. There's a principle in here. So when you talk about the power of belief, look at what you do believe and what's the do no harm, do right. Stand by those principles. But that third symbol, that just reinforces everything. Belief systems and knowledge base. Look at what you do have as a knowledge base. It's no accident that we're part of a metaphysical group and a metaphysical consciousness, that we're always aspiring to more and greater. Sometimes we have to give up some of those belief systems that we've had because we realize that was just a preference. And now we're going to expand and grow, and just as we've done tonight, push that pause button and say, where can I look beyond this moment? And what is that future? But, staying firm to principle. So that's how I read that.
Good points. Certainly fit in with our program tonight. I guess we have one more. Marina. Okay, Marina. This is wild card number 1, paradox.
Oh my.
That's
You
a
know,
heavy one.
paradox is a really interesting symbol to pull, and I could very easily tie it into this evening, but here's what the guidebook says: a truth can be found in seemingly contradictory ideas. You think about that in a paradox. What may seem like a false proposition can be a set of new ideas and ways of thinking. Your solution may lay in the opposite direction that you think. Keep in mind that the cosmos works in equals and opposites. Not all truths lay in common opinions, and this may be a time for contrarian thinking, a 180, and opening your mind to what may not make sense at first. And thus, new perspectives are discovered. So that's a really interesting, powerful kind of little reinforcement or a message that all the answers aren't necessarily right in front of us. We have to kind of turn the ball around and see it from all kinds of different angles. So life is a paradox.
And I will offer this too, in addition, that when you're dealing with paradox, a lot of times it's in problem solving. So hence the 180 principle. Do a 180. Look at what should I not do? What would be the stupidest thing to do to solve this? However, the big part of paradox in problem solving is that sometimes the solution we're looking for lies outside of our belief system, which has been discussed tonight too. If we can't find a solution, we need to look outside of our belief system. We need to expand it. We need to look for more information. And that's the paradox almost. You do something that you wouldn't otherwise do. So, good card. An excellent thought. Hopefully that gets you thinking. Is that it then? Okay, great. Well, we're going to wrap up just a few minutes early because of our special night tonight. We appreciate everyone here joining us here tonight in the live audience as well as in the broadcast audience. We really do. We know you take your time, and it means something to us, a lot to us too. I'd like to thank Michael Kelley for engineering our broadcast tonight, Dr. Vicki Hunter for doing all that she does with the church and with the school, and we appreciate again those of you who joined us and those watching the archives too. Don't want to leave you out. Until next week, listen, think, learn, grow, and live.